This flabby brat actually wanted a fight. Darin took his measure while pretending to think it over. Soft was the word for him. No calluses marked his hands. Big surprise. Men like this didn't work for a living. "Beg pardon, my lord?" "You scuffed my boot. Wipe it off." His breath carried the mingled smells of wine and spiced meat. The least capable member of Darin's crew could gut him like a deer. But we don't have time for that. Darin made his voice cheerful. "Can't say I see it, my lord." "It's right there." "Never did have the best eyes, but I'll be certain to have them checked." A wisp of a girl in a silk and taffeta gown tittered with laughter behind a tiny hand. She looked barely of an age to be husband shopping, but the gems encrusting her bodice could serve no other purpose. Darin's fingers itched just looking at them. Yet another high-born. So that was why he was putting on this display. Sure enough, the man's cheeks reddened even further. "Are you mocking me?" "Wouldn't dream of it, my lord." Darin tried to move around him, but the man shifted over to block his path. "You're not going anywhere." "That's terribly flattering of you, but I'm happily spoken for." "You insolent little—" "I wish I could stay and chat, but I've been sent to fetch wine for my master. He's not a patient man, I'm sure you understand." "Who is he?" The pearl and silver necklace threatened to spill out of Darin's left sleeve, so he thought it best to head this fellow off. So he spoke the name of the most dangerous and short-tempered man in Eskirk. "Lord Peyton." Recognition bloomed in the man's eyes. Oh, yes. Even the most wine-addled fool would know to be cautious here. Peyton had challenged and killed men for the smallest of insults. Harassing one of his personal servants would undoubtedly qualify. "You've heard of him, I take it?" Darin said. "I should hope so." The brat wore a smirk that stabbed unease straight into Darin's belly. "After all, he's my father." Of course he was. Being around all these nobles made Evie want to stab someone, but since her mother had raised her better than that, she'd settle for robbing them blind. She glided between the embroidered frock coats and opulent evening gowns, trying not to look at any of their faces. Better to consider them strangers rather than the holders of names she once learned on her mother's lap. Better not to be recognized by anyone who would understand how far she'd fallen. Her plain servant's garb rendered her practically invisible among so much finery. But not completely invisible, as the lecherous old Count of Sunbury's unwelcome hand in her skirts reminded her. She grabbed his pinky finger and bent it backward, rewarded with a yelp on the sight of the Count spilling his drink on himself. He withdrew the offending hand when she released his finger. She moved on without a backward glance. She approached a pair of women in luxurious silk dresses, one as green as a cut emerald, the other a deeper blue than sapphire. Exotic dyes both, and that spoke to the wealth of their owners. "Drinks, my ladies?" She held forth a silver tray with 7 little porcelain vessels. A few brandies, a cognac, and a small assortment of other spirits. Fine offerings by most accounts, but both women refused. "Come back when you have dream wine," said the one in green. Always with the dream wine. Evie couldn't fathom their obsession with something so expensive yet so fleeting. She dipped her head as they expected, then brushed her fingertips against the woman's side. What a lovely bodice! She slid past, plucking 2 emeralds free and dropping them into her sleeves. Gemstones always brought good coin. A bit harder to move, perhaps, because you couldn't melt them down. Maybe that was why Darin often went for the silver instead. Well, that's not the only reason. She hadn't wanted to come here. Eskirk's gala was the event of the season. In the not-so-distant past, she'd pleaded